2, and welcome back.
Welcome to another archery episode. So today we're joined by Christian Johanson and Andrew Donald. You may know them from their Instagram accounts, Nocturnal Archer and Archer from Sweden. So let's start with Christian, because Christian, you haven't been on here before. So tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Christian Johanson. I live in south of Sweden. I live with my 4 kids and wife, and in a small farm where we are self-sufficient on vegetables and so on. And it's here where I find my passion of traditional archery. So I think I've been shooting for... Huh?
Oh, Thomas is just going to scroll through your feed there. Go on.
Yeah. So I think I've been shooting for 6 years at the moment, but I'm homeschooled. So I met up with my coach from England, Flame Strike Archery on Instagram. Fantastic coach, amazing person. And she's been coaching me for about, I think, 2.5 months. And I have a lot of bad habits, though I'm homeschooled. But we will be working on it, hopefully.
Yeah. So at the moment you're shooting a American Flatbow. What brand?
I'm shooting on a Bearpaw Blackfoot at, I think it's 27 on my fingers, 66 inches long.
Yeah, it's a cool bow. I remember when I first started posting archery stuff on Instagram, finding you pretty early on, but that account is since gone. You moved on to a newer one, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, we do.
So in the corner below me, you see Andrew Donald sitting away, happy as Larry.
Andrew,
how are you getting on?
G'day, guys. Yeah, I'm going really well. Great to be back.
So, for anyone who doesn't know you, could you introduce yourself again?
Sure. My name's Andrew Donald. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. My archery account is Nocturnal Archer. I'm a traditional archer. I'm self-taught, just like Christian. I'm legally blind, and I like to shoot in the dark, especially. I wish I could tell you exactly what I'm shooting, but I almost never have it narrowed down to one bow because I love collecting bows.
You can see the shelf behind you there.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, I've had to lighten the collection a little bit just for space, but it's so at the moment. Actually, I just started shooting again for the first time in months because look, I'll just show you guys. Here is my indoor archery range target right there. I just built that recently in the last day, and so I'm just shooting indoors. I'm keen to talk more about creating that on my Instagram soon, but it's been amazing. So I'm back on like a 30-pound longbow is where I started. That's a Bearpaw Star Hunter, 68 inches. And after a long break, I just love coming back to a lightweight bow. I mean, lightweight is always relative term because, it's what's lightweight to some might not be to others, and it's all personal. So, but I think there's, even if I'm in heavy training, there's just something special about shooting a lightweight bow, I think. It's just really enjoyable. It's I find it like oddly a lot more challenging in some ways. Like your release has to be super clean because if you think about like if you pluck a string on, I'm getting back to music now. I'm also a musician, but if you pluck a string on a violin, it goes bing, bing, bing. If you pluck a string on a double bass, it goes it vibrates a lot more. And so that's what's happening on your lightweight bow strings. And So your release has got to be clean. Plus, you got a lot more arrow drop. Those things are exaggerated. But for me, at the moment, I'm just getting back some technique and some confidence by shooting at like 2 meters. It's pretty much all the distance I've got. And because we are in hard lockdown in Melbourne right now, stage 4 lockdown with a curfew and a whole lot of crazy ass rules that I'm keen to talk about. But that has kept me from shooting a bow for a very long time, and it has put off a number of bow hunts that I've had planned with my good mate Anthony from Little Axe, a fantastic bow case company that he started here in Melbourne as well. And he's been a hunting mentor for me, and we've had several hunts planned this year, and they've all been crushed.
That's rough.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. It's totally fine. I mean, the deer aren't unhappy. Not that they'd be in a lot of danger with me out there, but anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm studying my masters from home. Uni is all done remotely. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm keen to start moving up in draw weight as I get my confidence back and my technique going, and and I've got a few potential bows picked out for when I hit the high country this later this year, hopefully. I'm trying to toss up between the Kodiak 59 and the Sable longbow, both bear archery bows, and both I haven't hunted with before. Yeah, I love that. That's really how I got started with bow collecting, is through the Bear Archery Company, and I was a pro staff shooter with them for just over a year, which was it was sort of a goal for me when I started my Instagram, and was really keen to make that connection with the company. But that's come to an end mutually, and now I'm free to talk about all the other awesome bows and amazing independent bowyers out there that I just like. I'm going nuts over. And as you can see at the moment, my Instagram feed is full of old photos and odd little bits and pieces from my kit bag that I've been sharing over the last few weeks. I'm like,
I'd be concerned if I was your enemy.
We love it. We love
it.
it.
Weapons expert.
Great. Excellent.
So it's kind of like two extremes here, as far as I know, at least Sweden's been like pretty relaxed with the rules.
Yeah, we
and
are.
Ireland's in the middle, and then Andrew is just complete lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We had a very steep uphill in the beginning, but now we almost have none left, because I think we got immunity out there in the society. So I think we only have a few deaths each day, unfortunately, so far, but and not many defected so far. So
so
what
far
are
so
your
good.
daily case numbers, Christian?
I think we have about 1 to 3 deaths each day, unfortunately.
And what about case numbers, like positive tests? Do you get that information?
I think the last 4 weeks we have upgraded the testing a lot. I think it's over 100,000 each day, but the numbers are getting lower and lower each day, even though we test a lot more. So, unfortunately, I don't have any numbers.
You don't have any hard data. Unacceptable, mate. Where's the data? I want the numbers right now. No,
I'm so sorry, man. Wait, I just Googled it. Wait.
Too many press conferences.
When Andrew asks a question, Andrew demands a fucking answer, bro.
I know. I'm so sorry.
That was rude.
Please don't shoot me with your beer.
Bro, do you think I know how to do archery? I'm just the guy who fucking looks up shit.
Yeah, Tom's the only guy here who doesn't do archery.
I don't do archery. I like talking about archery because it's interesting. And I like the way Andrew, last time you were on the podcast, you were talking about the comparison with archery and music. That was awesome. I love that.
Oh,
yeah, it was cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. No, but
Yeah,
we don't have any
it's really interesting.
lockdowns. So our kids are going in school still, and so on. So this
Are your schools open?
yeah, they haven't been closed at all.
No. Oh wow.
There's a bit of uproar in Ireland at the moment because
Guys,
they opened
you
bars.
guys, Jesus, you guys are such a fuck me. Your country's so good at everything. I mean, you got like the lowest number of fucking addicts. You know, your drug campaigns are great. You legalize everything. Like, why doesn't everyone just move to fucking Sweden? You know what I mean? Fucking good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Give it to me.
Can I
What about
ask
you, Andrew? Now, how many
Christian,
cases are you getting daily?
Right. I can tell you the exact numbers because we are on a daily basis, like getting press conferences and tuning in to get these numbers because it depends on how they decrease when we're going to be let out of this. But we went through an initial lockdown with the whole country and case numbers got up to around 100 or so a day, maybe a bit more, but they started to come down and then we were released. I went back to my range. We had about a month of that, and then the cases started going back up again, and then they started to get out of control, and we were getting 700 plus cases a day. And in Melbourne, it's not a huge. I mean, it's a pretty big city. I think it's about 5 or 6 million. I can't remember. But
That's more
big.
people than there is.
Does that sound big?
I mean, it's bigger than the population of Ireland, if that's any fun.
There's 5 million people.
Yeah,
It's not
I think in
5 million.
Stockholm we have
That's
1
ridiculous.
million.
I think it's got to be like 3. I think it's 3. I think I might have completely got that wrong, but it's about somewhere between 2 and 3. So yeah, it was a bit disturbing. Going back into lockdown really sucked, but it's been ravaging old aged care facilities here. There's been terrible outbreaks in retirement homes and aged care facilities. There've been there's been some botching of the quarantine system initially that they think might have led to it. But let me just premise all this by saying I don't know. I don't know anything about this except what I can assume myself and what the experts tell us. So I'm no expert, and I certainly don't know what the right thing to do is. But this is apparently Melbourne in this stage 4 has been in a harsher lockdown than anywhere else in the world currently. Obviously, there's been some pretty harsh lockdowns to begin with in all around the world, but right now it's one of the most locked down cities in the world, and it's been taking its toll on everyone's mental health. It's been taking its toll on people's livelihood and on businesses, and of course, most significantly, it's been taking people's lives, and it's it's not it's just a really unfortunate thing. It's not at all, in my opinion, it's not at all political. It's about looking after people, and quite frankly, I'm happier that we're at this extreme than at the other extreme, like we've been all watching in the States and things like that, because there's a certain amount of peace of mind in these kind of lockdown regulations. However, there has been some growing tension here in Melbourne, definitely, even in recent couple of days, because we have I'll give you the rules. There's a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. No one, the only thing that are open, there's some cafes and restaurants. You can't go in. It's all like Uber delivery stuff. Supermarkets are open, service stations, petrol stations, gas stations, whatever you call them, are open, and chemists are open, drugstores, whatever you call them. And that's about it. You can't go more than 5 kilometres from your house, and you can't be out for more than 1 hour a day. So you get 1 hour of outdoor exercise, and you can't do that more than 5 Ks from home. And you certainly can't go and visit anyone, and you really can't. I think you can meet up with one person in a park, and all of this is supposed to be done at 1.5 meter social distance. So those are some of the rules. There are so many, and masks are mandatory. There are so many rules that it's quite difficult to keep up with them, and the most recent one to come under fire is the curfew, because nobody seems to know who suggested that or why, and the health professionals are saying it wasn't them, and the police are saying it wasn't them, and so we're all a bit confused. But to be honest, I'm all right. I lost my job at the beginning of the year, like a lot of people, but it's okay. This is, in my mind, a pretty mild sacrifice, even though I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I'm trying to keep some perspective here and think, I'm not being forced out of my home like a refugee. I'm not being conscripted into the army to fight in some war overseas. I'm not like having my house destroyed by a hurricane or a cyclone or an earthquake. It's a sacrifice, I'm willing to make. Yeah.
Of course, because
Having
here in
said
Sweden,
that,
yeah.
I'd love to get out. It would be great.
Here in Sweden, we had it at the beginning. I think we were able to drive 2 hours away from our house, driving, and we had this 2 meter distance from each other. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
200 or 2 hours, but at what speed?
Yeah, exactly. And then gatherings over 50 weren't allowed, but then we just held our distance, and masks aren't in use, because there are plenty of studies that show that masks aren't efficient against the virus and so on. I have no clue.
I'm going to put you. How do you mean, Christian? This is just a friendly
How do you mean
challenge
what?
to that. Well, how are masks not preventing the spread? Do you mean that
because
you work
I think
in healthcare,
people
don't you?
are I am, because I think people are using them wrong. If you just point at your moist mask, it's not efficient anymore, because the virus are going through the mask anyway, and you have to cover your nose and mouth. And in every picture I see here in TV and so on, the people are using it wrong. And
Yeah,
and you
I'd have
count.
to agree with that. From my perspective, it seems like the mask is effective if a lot of people are wearing it. It might not be effective from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, because virus particles are incredibly small. And so it won't necessarily stop them from getting in through the mask, but it will stop a lot of your fluids from escaping through the mask or spreading further than they would. So if a lot of people wear them, then I've seen a lot of research that says it really does cut down transmission. And I was wondering personally, if we had gone into mandatory mask situations from the beginning of this, that perhaps we might have avoided any of this severe lockdown activity. What do you think about that?
Maybe
we were delayed with Max as well. After 4 months, they said, okay, they're mandatory now. 4 months.
Are they mandatory for you in Ireland?
Yes, at the moment they are.
Well, it obviously depends. Like
in shops there.
In shops, okay.
In shops.
Okay. In Melbourne, as soon as you leave your house, you need to have one on.
No, you can go outside without wearing a mask. Like it's
right.
pretty relaxed.
Kids under 12 don't have to.
Yeah, no. I think in primary schools now they're trying to introduce kids under or kids over, is it 6 or 7 that want to start them wearing masks? I'm not sure.
It's quite young.
All the
But
schools
how will you get kids to not touching the mask? Because if you touch the mask and something else is infected.
Yeah, you got a point there, and the short answer is, I don't know.
Can't.
It's kind of like the teacher can try all they want, but if you're dealing with a class of 30 kids, you can't be watching them all the time and teaching. It's going to happen. There's going to be one who's going to think it's funny to take off his mask and cough at someone, or one to like take off his mask and swing it up in the air and throw it somewhere.
Yeah,
but like
sure,
a sling.
If
Teachers are going to have it rough now. The next
if
few
we can
months.
get like half of the people to do it right, it's better than half of them, or it's better than none of them doing it.
I agree with
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was doing my I'm studying my master's in primary education, trying to become a primary school teacher, and I was doing some.
You poor son of a bitch. Like, oh man.
To be honest, I never.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have
want to be a music
and,
teacher,
and that's enough.
Yeah. I have no kids, and every time I teach a class of kids, it reminds me why I've chosen not to. But I do really like kids. I really do like kids, and I love teaching music to young kids and in general.
Fantastic.
But I was doing my teacher placement when this all kicked off and we went into our first lockdown. In fact, I was right in the middle of it. And so I was, in a primary school observing all of this during the really panicky phase where there were some crazy stats going around and people didn't know what to expect. So that was pretty weird. And I must, Tom, if that was you mentioning that, or I'm not sure who was talking about kids, like how they behave in classrooms. Like it's very hard to control a whole bunch of kids like that. We're still schooling from home in Melbourne, unless you're an essential worker.
Because over here it's talked about a lot, but teachers pay over in your guys' country because they're constantly on protest over here about how much to get paid, and like they're always asking for what's it like over in yours? I would presume.
But they also get paid for the entire summer. They get 3 months holidays during the summer, and they get paid for the entire thing. But they're also allowed to earn during that time period. So I would love to be a teacher for that reason, and that's the reason well, it's one of the reasons my girlfriend's getting into teaching. It's just handy. So
the holidays are great. Yeah.
Here in Sweden, we have I think we have 5 weeks paid vacation, and some have I don't know what's it called, but they are free at every holiday from schools. So in the summer they have 9 weeks off, and in the autumn I think they have 2 weeks off, and in the spring I think they have 2 weeks off anyway, and it's paid.
Okay.
Is that teachers or everybody?
No, teachers.
Just teachers.
Just teachers. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty similar to.
It'd be great
Australia.
if it was everybody. It'd be amazing.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't Sweden have some crazy rules like that?
Nurses
some
do
great
it, like taking off.
maternity.
Andrew, what did you say?
Sorry, Sweden has some great like maternity leave, and even you, I remember, in the birth of your last kid, I think had quite a lot of time off.
I think we have 490 paid days to have with our kids. 490,
cool.
Almost 500 paid days to stay home with our kids.
Wow.
Shit.
Awesome.
Jeez, Thomas, are we going to move over to Sweden?
Me and Jared might go over and just like adopt a kid or something.
Yeah.
You adopt me, Chris.
Oh yeah, we'll adopt fucking Andrew. Nice.
Come over, Andrew.
Just pretend like you're like 5 or something.
Bottom.
We can go do archery together, and I can just sit there and type.
Sorry, back to your question about teacher pay here. It's not enough.
No.
I think a lot of people now who are being forced to school their kids at home for the first time, who aren't teachers, are realizing what an intense job. It really is. And
Absolutely.
it's a job that you take home with you. It has a lot of extra hours outside of work, a lot of planning and preparation. There's a lot of job security for being a teacher in Australia, which was really a major reason why it appealed to me. But yeah, to be honest, pay was a reason as well for me. But I've been a professional musician before this, and so my pay sucked. And so anything regular and reliable was a step up. So yeah, there's still some gains to be made, but it's not a bad job at all. Certainly very rewarding, I think.
Yeah. I had a question there for you.
I know. This must be like really embarrassing for you that you forgot your
no,
question.
I actually have the question. You're interrupting me, you asshole.
And now you just insulted our guests live. No.
Oh, you. Okay. Is it worse? Is pay worse for primary or secondary?
I don't think it's any different. Yeah, it gets better as you get more experience.
There's a big difference in those jobs, though.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I have some lectures that are mixed high school and primary school teachers, and others that are just the primary school crew. But yeah, it's a very different approach. Like teaching young kids just takes different methods of pedagogy, and it's seriously complicated, way more than I ever imagined it could be, But I have some experience with teaching, having been a piano and singing teacher for several years before starting this degree. So
I remember you posted something before. I don't know if Thomas can pull it up. You sang on your Instagram, and then the song was so cool.
I love it. I love when he plays and sings.
Yeah.
Please do it more.
Was it?
Please.
Simple Life or something?
Guys.
Simple Life.
Was it? What was it? I can't remember. There's not a lot of music. I rarely put music on there, to be honest. I should do it more, but it's kind of reflective of where I'm at the moment. Studying and being obsessed with archery, like.
We'll find it there somewhere, Thomas.
I'll have a look for it, but.
Yeah. I thought that was just great.
I think it's about 6 months ago he posted about.
6 months ago. Thank you.
At least. Yeah.
Also, does anyone else think he looks a little bit like Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I get that all the time.
I'm not saying anything.
It's like Keanu Reeves and Ryan Reynolds had a love child.
Yeah.
Very poor man's Ryan Reynolds.
Bro, what the fuck? Are you sure you're not like his stunt double?
You could make a career out of that too.
Really?
We had a guy on there, and he's like a professional Peter Griffin impersonator. He gets loads.
I've seen that
Do
guy.
it.
We had that guy
I've
on.
seen that guy. He looks very much like Peter Griffin. Yeah.
Yes.
He's very
No
funny,
sounds like him
made me
too.
laugh.
Sure. I mean, what are you going to pay a house off with that talent? I don't know. How far? What's the glass ceiling on being a cartoon personality impressionist? Like, I don't know. You might have to work a second job on the side at the very least, but who knows?
I think his second job is his YouTube channel.
There you go.
Because he
Brilliant.
does this thing
Brilliant.
called
Entrepreneur.
grind my gears, which is what Peter Griffin did in the show.
Yeah, grind my
We get
gears.
loads of
yeah.
views from him.
Yeah.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's September or August now. It's August, right? Or it's not September. Shit. So then I'm looking for 4 months. I'm looking for April kind of time.
No, I think it's January at least.
Well, that's not.
No,
is it?
The only reason we're digging for it is because it was that good. I still remember.
The audio's not even going to work because it doesn't work on Skype.
You should turn it on then.
That's all right. Thank you.
That's all right. I'm in November now. Fuck's sake, Jesus.
Yeah, I gotta say, performing is something I
might be
used to do for a
quarter.
living.
Oh, it's in January. Sunday,
January.
That's a little ditty. I don't think I'm singing that one, but yeah, that's using a loop station and making some grooves and stuff like that.
Can you guys hear that? Can Can you guys hear that? I was playing for like a second. No.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a
Come
second.
on.
Yeah, I heard
I thought I
that.
heard
A few
it. Yeah.
seconds. A few seconds.
You don't
come
mind
on.
if I play it, do you? Just
No, not at
no.
all. So it's out there now.
Spread his love.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Andrew.
You play the piano too, don't you, Christian?
Yeah, but I'm just a hobby.
No such thing as just a hobby.
No such thing. I learned
passion.
Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata a few months ago.
Lovely. Nice. You'll have to teach me. I never learned that one.
Come on. That's awesome, mate.
So this is a fun way to
That's
like
just really, really
layer
cool.
things up.
I love it.
It sounds like some lo-fi music.
Yeah, it's kind of elevator music. I come from a jazz background, and I don't know. Sometimes I mention the word funk to people, and they look at me like I spat in their mouth. It's like,
I love funk.
Oh, so much fun.
But yeah, funk and Afrobeat and jazz and Latin stuff and groovy stuff, instrumental stuff. All of that funky, jazzy, wanky kind of music. It appeals to me. I don't know why. Yeah.
Thomas, must you try to find that singing one? 'Cause I'm serious. Like, it's just that good. Yeah.
Man, it is.
I think on my Spotify playlist, it's about 50% funk, at least.
Nice. What's your
How do
favorite?
I get that
funk
to be
band?
my ringtone? I want that.
I don't know. I have so many that I listen to, but
You could probably convert that to an MP3. Make it
You
your
probably could.
ringtone, Thomas.
yeah. Come on, Andrew, do it.
I mean, I want that thing. I want to wake up to that. You know.
That's a good alarm too.
Know what I mean?
I'd love to be the first one who pays you.
The first one who pays me. You're a bit late for that, mate.
To listen to your music.
Yeah, you'll have to get in line. I've been doing it since I left high school. Yeah. I mean, that's my bread and butter for more than a decade, touring the country and playing gigs. Nothing major or anything, but there's a lot of work for live music, and sometimes like a lot of my friends tried to. You're not going to get rich, but you're going to have a good time. And a lot of my friends really, it's great experience. There were bands we tried to get to blow up, but nothing I was in really ever did. Some of my friends had some great success. Some of them still having tremendous success. But for me, I just love playing. Providing music. It's a real joy. So, those always heaps of fun. Haven't done any for quite a while though. But it's like one of those things that sometimes, and maybe you've felt this with archery, either of you, that or any kind of passion that you've had. Sometimes it wanes a bit, and sometimes it comes back with a fury. And in those times of sort of low motivation, you can start to panic, like I've completely lost interest in music, or I've completely lost interest in archery. I'll sell all my gear, I'll pack that little dream up and move on. But I found that there's no need to panic, that you can come back to it. And in many respects, I mean, this lockdown has been a good example of that. Like I'm thinking about archery a lot, that's for sure. I might not be practicing it a lot, but sometimes you need that break to sever the physical repetition and the habits you might get into so that you can start afresh. And also, all that time you're thinking about it, you're progressing mentally. You're growing more experienced just by thinking about it. And so when I come back to the piano after a bit of a break, I find my fingers a bit stiff, and maybe I try to do something that doesn't quite come out the way I thought it would. But actually, my ideas are more, they've continued to grow, and my choices are better and or different, more interesting. And the same is for archery, I find, or anything. So, you know, I haven't been performing a lot lately, but it'll come back. Yeah, it'll come back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know about you, Christian, but I felt the same with archery sometimes. But I don't do it for a while.
Absolutely.
Why would
Absolutely.
I keep going?
I've been now when I was on my parental leave, I was shooting almost every day, and I was shooting a lot every day. And I think I overshot myself, so I didn't think it was fun anymore. But I couldn't let it go anyway, because I don't know, it's a love-hate feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
You hate it a lot, but it's so fun to shoot, so you can't let it go. But it's a very mixed feeling sometimes.
People talk a lot about the archery bug, don't they? About, you know, be careful, it's addictive, and it really does feel like one of those things. Like once I pulled the trigger and bought my first bow, I just knew that whatever happened, I'd be doing this for the rest of my life. Like, as long as I can physically draw a bow, and after that, I'll make them, or I'll do something, you know, something to do with archery.
Well, thankfully with bows, you'll be pulling them for a long time. Just end up with a compound bow. I know people when they get injured here. I don't know if it happens where you guys are. Archers at least, they just switch over to a compound bow. If they're like getting on with age and they can't hold a 40-pound bow back as long anymore, they just switch over to a compound.
Does injury happen often in archery?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah, I think a lot. Last month, my fingers are so sore and hurt every time I put on the string. So I think I had 1.5, 2 weeks off, and almost got depressed because I wasn't able to shoot, and I have such a hard break from it from one day to another, and I almost got depressed actually because
that's too bad, man. Finger pain is on your string hand is a bit troubling. What do you think about that, Gerard? Do you?
What do you guys use? Do you use a glove?
I use a glove.
A tab.
Fairly thin glove.
Do I have it with me?
I get some pain when I haven't shot for a while, but then if it
uses a fake hand.
I think I'm doing something.
You know, just hides it up his sleeve.
I try to change it up.
Yeah, no, I just use a tab, and it's thick enough. It's one from Arcor. They make grips, but they also do tabs. So I use that one. It's called the Nudo. It's kind of like the Yost tab with all the lines on it. But I found with the Yost one, there was too many. Like, honest to God, you do not need that many. So
I don't know if
it's
familiar
like
with them.
30 lines, and then Nudo had 20. And
wow.
For me, with bad memory, 20 was better. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, I think mine's thick enough for my hands not to be too sore, but it does really depend on your release. Obviously, if you're doing your release wrong, it's going to hurt more.
Or it may be
because Andrew, tell me.
So maybe if the pressure is on the wrong part of the finger as well, could that add to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Because I'm homeschooled, and when I was talking to my coach how I hold my string, I wasn't relaxed in my wrist or on my hand, because I had a tension in my whole hand, and then when I only had tension in my hook, and my fingers were stretched out. I think they weren't used to it, So I got a lot of pain because of that. And now when I'm shooting, I'm not feeling any pain at all because I've been
awesome.
getting my fingers used to it.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah, I saw a post several months ago by the great Tom Clum, who has been a tremendous source of really high-level technical knowledge of anatomy and exactly what's going on in the shot process, specifically geared towards traditional archers, which is just has been so hard to find until he came along and did that course.
Lab or the Push?
Yes, yeah, totally. I listened to it, but there's just something about seeing it like demonstrated. Sometimes someone said, Tom Clum is such a good teacher. He's so good at getting the message across effectively. But anyway, it was about that wrist tension that Christian was talking about, and once I addressed that was a real game changer early this year. But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
There's my index finger, my middle finger, and my ring finger. So you can see my ring finger is much longer than my index finger. Now I know that's like a genetic thing. Some people have a longer longer ring finger, but it's been screwing with my I just always found it difficult to do I go deep? Do I go on the fingertips? Is the ring finger deeper than the index finger because it's longer? Then I been really trying to eliminate any string torque, and that's been changing exactly where I hook, and also just the lack of
show me your hand again. Okay, so where do you put the string? You use your other finger to show where the string goes. Yeah,
sort of on the crease of this finger, under the crease of my middle finger, and kind of by the time my hand's tilted on the string, maybe just beyond the crease of my ring finger. I don't know if you can see any of that, but
yeah. No, I get that. I know people who, and I don't know how they shoot, who go beyond that. They're not at the normal crease. They're the one below.
Wow.
Which looks a bit weird. You got the whole hand wrapped around.
That's crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna try that.
Well, no, when they do it, it's not a good way to shoot. It's gonna hurt your hand more.
All right, I'm not gonna.
It's like doing this, and then the release is, blah.
Yeah, it would be, right?
It's explosive. There's nothing consistent.
But the deep hook is something you often hear about being effective for traditional archers, especially using gloves. I've heard that.
Being traditional archers, do you guys go 3 under or Mediterranean style 2 under, 1 above?
I go Mediterranean mostly.
Yeah, I actually mixed at the moment to find my sweet spots. I've been doing mixed Mediterranean for almost every year, but now my coach asked me to go 3 under, and I will give it a try.
That's actually a very
every now and
Swedish
again
thing,
I test it
shooting 3 under with every style. I know a Swedish competitive archer, and what she does is she puts 3 under. Whereas most people who shoot like Olympic recurve, they do Mediterranean style and go under their chin.
Yeah.
But she does the 3 under her chin. So different.
That's interesting.
I asked her about it, and she said it's just a Swedish thing. So.
Just the Swedish thing.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a coach here in Sweden, and he said here in Sweden we often have the string above the last hook here and the last joint. It's a Swedish thing to hold the string above the last joints and
so right on your fingertips.
Yeah, almost.
Okay, cool.
Even 3 under or Mediterranean.
Cool.
But
It's a
I have no clue.
constant,
I'm just homeschooled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
it's yeah. There's
I
so
suppose
much
most of us are,
experimentation,
unless you
isn't
could
there?
code switch. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, there's so much experimentation in archery. And there's so much. You really need to give every change you make a lot of time and a lot of reps to discover like what's going up with that. Like, what are the pros and cons of that?
Absolutely.
You just have to give it time. If you're flipping between 3 under and day in day out, and it's going to make it a longer journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry to cut you off, mate. What were you saying?
Yeah, Jared, please don't try to cut off Mr. Donald again during the podcast.
Oh, you're so quiet.
He would really appreciate that, okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the tiniest things matter in archery. Like I'm just pulling out things here. I switched from like standard vanes on the arrow to the spin ones, the XS wings, and then I spent a long time deciding which one of these was better. You can see them.
Yeah. What did you decide?
They're both different sizes, but they're like a couple of millimeters in a difference. But like trying to figure out, okay, which one's gonna do better.
How'd you do that?
Took a while.
How'd you figure it out?
Slow-mo
footage or?
No. It's kind of
shoots
stupid.
animals and see which one screams more. No, I'm messing.
No. A lot of people don't like. They don't experiment when they're at a competition. I do. I only experiment at competitions.
Wow, talent.
Because the pressure is there. The pressure is on. You gotta get it. You gotta make sure it was worth doing. So in the end, the bigger one was better. The small one didn't get the right stabilization, especially with barebow when you're shooting. The arrow is not coming out like with you guys. It just goes up for you guys and curves. For mine, it goes smack down, wiggle, wiggle, way back up.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How come?
Cool.
Oh, it's just the way you're affecting the bottom limb and affecting the flight. Like if you're difference between your hand being here versus your hand being like all the way down here on the string, big difference. Yeah.
Okay.
And you shoot 3 under with a string walking, do you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I assume so. Gee, that's really interesting.
I'm so impressed with
Sorry.
you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah. Gerard, just on that note, like experimenting at competitions, it reminded me of, that's very jazz of you, I think. Yeah, Miles Davis, the great trumpet player, would be proud of that because he said all the time, when it's gig time, that's when you got to play beyond your comfort zone. You've got to experiment and step out of that. You've got to play beyond your ability. That's the time to make the big leap to take the gamble. So yeah, that's what made me think of that.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid sometimes, but I like doing it. Nice. With no practice, I went from shooting with a V-bar setup with IFAA barebow, which is what I shoot. You can have everything except the sight, so it's not really barebow.
Wow,
but
cool.
I used to shoot with the whole shebang, and I said, okay, let's try it the normal standard way. Took a while; it was really difficult. And then I won a few competitions with that, and I was like, okay, I'll just switch back over. And now, when I start back in college, there's an archery club, and I'm gonna switch back to having nothing on the bow. So a lot of experimentation there.
Yeah. Okay.
On off. And then that's while trying like new buttons, new rests, and so on.
Yeah, right. What about bows? Do you stick to the same bow?
I got sponsored by Spigarelli, but because of how bad it was in Italy, I don't know if that still stands, to be honest. I had a bow I was supposed to be on the way, but I don't even know if they still exist. So at the moment, I'm shooting a Gilo.
Cool. I want a Gilo.
Yeah, not the new one. The one before that, the G2K.
The G1. The G2. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, And the
I love how
current
they
one
look.
is crazy. My mom shoots a new one, and it's beast. It's got inbuilt dampeners, so it's really cool.
Cool.
Do you think it helps you competitively, Jared, that all your family are archers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because it's
believe it
always a
does.
constant
Wow.
battle of which one in the family got the highest score.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I have the record for the most
Christmas
points in
holiday
one
is
round.
on.
My dad has the record overall.
Wow.
Dads they'll hold on to those records. My dad would like relentlessly beat me at chess on a weekly basis as a small child, like no holds barred, just like destroy me on the chessboard. I'd be in tears every time, and it'd be like, well, that's the way it goes, you know.
Son, I don't care if you're 6. Shut the fuck up, you loser.
Back up. Back and play.
Go and nap.
Yeah.
Take that rook out of your mouth. Put it down. We're playing. Serious. It was fun. It was good. It was a learning experience, and I beat it. So you'll get there, mate. You'll get there. That record will topple.
Yeah, and then, but it, that idea still like transcends bow styles. Like my brother shoots a compound, but he's still included.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's not very fair. And then, yeah. So
Same distance
at the moment.
Maybe he should have some kind of like a handicap in golf. Do you know the comparison of that in archery? No.
Oh yeah. What was it? We know the guy with the highest handicap in golf in
Australia. Yeah.
Australia.
Mm.
Yeah, Damien Thomason.
The highest.
Yeah.
What
Or
is
whatever. I don't know.
I reckon I
He
could give
explained
him a
that
run for his
He's
money.
the highest. Well, there's no way to say it. He's missing both his legs. He lost them in a.
Oh, I know the guy.
Afghanistan
I know the
IED.
guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know the guy.
Yeah,
He's
Damien,
amazing.
he's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And I bet, he would lose that record if he played a game with me.
See?
Golf is hard, man, but it's a lot like archery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I played it for about 7 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, that's cool.
I used to work in a golf course. I've never played a game of it though.
Even mini golf?
Not even mini golf.
Oh my god.
Especially
No,
not mini golf.
Especially not even mini golf.
Yeah. And mini golf's
Yeah.
good fun.
It's kind of golf seems very similar in we were talking about injuries before and how archery is so I do know people that shoot left and right-handed to balance it out, and I mean there is a lot of symmetry in your back muscles, but there's definitely a little bit of asymmetry in your upper body, and it is an extremely repetitive process, and so I guess that's where a lot of injuries come, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in technique and getting it right, because I'd really like to be doing this for as long as possible.
If you want a book on like injury prevention and then like methods to stop that, Jake Kaminsky wrote a book, How to Train for Archery. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Jake Kaminsky is a great guy. I think he placed like second in the Olympics a lot. I think it's up to 3 times. And then he's moved into barebow recently. And
cool.
yeah, Jake Kaminsky, K-A...
Insky. You know who else placed second recently?
Yeah.
Check that book there.
Christian placed second recently in his most recent competition. Congratulations, buddy, on that.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Well done, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
man, you've inspired me. I want to go.
It's just amateur competition. It's just amateur.
Oh, it's
Still
still the
awesome,
same, though.
man. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It is really good. Yeah.
I think we were about 30 shooters or something like that. I think it was 30. Yeah.
That's
Oh
so
wow,
good. That's
Amazon
a
already
pretty
doing
good
this to me
turnout
live on a
for
fucking stream. Jesus. Do you know what I mean? I give money. I give fuck you, Amazon. That's such a shitty thing to do.
charity shaming hurts everybody, you know.
You know, I give
Yeah.
money to charity. Fuck you, Amazon, you little dickheads. I bet they know we're fucking recording, actually.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
We've
so in
had
the
one
cool
competition this
competition we
year.
had, yeah,
It was nationals, so that was great.
okay. Yeah, good.
We had like the lowest recorded scores in the organization ever.
The lowest.
It had just the lowest scores ever recorded. Because
Are we
it
talking
was
archery or
basically
golf now? Is that good or bad?
Yeah,
archery.
exactly.
Okay.
Archery.
Just checking. Just checking.
What was it?
Oh dear.
It's the hardest course in Ireland, Ashgrove. Shout out to Ashgrove. And then they made it harder.
Yeah.
And then obviously no one had practice. No one was able to practice. Like it was the
We
only
have
competition of the
released-
year.
We're going to Wolverines to roam the course.
Okay. There you go.
I don't know what happened just there because my screen went
Yeah,
black
no,
for a
everything
second.
kind
Yeah,
of just blacked
we
out.
back.
Down a bit.
I still okay. There you are, Angel.
Oh,
Mr. Buddy
I
girl.
got really worried because normally when that happens, it means Thomas's internet goes.
Yeah, am I still here? You guys can still hear me?
We're all
Yeah.
still here.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so have you guys like competed this year?
I've never competed, but
Seriously?
yeah. Inspired
You're in
by,
a club
by
and you haven't even done a club shoot?
our club is small and disorganized, and I love it because I turn up there and I shoot for 3 hours and I don't see anyone. I have the whole field to myself, and that's day after day after day. They come on the weekends. I usually go during the it's not bad. It's very peaceful, but also with my vision, I've been trying to find the right competition so that I'm not totally lost, because to be completely honest, like I'd have a hard time picking out which target was mine at some of those distances, let alone having any chance of posting a score. So I'm trying to find the right comp. I think a 20 meter or an 18 meter indoor, bare bow comp would be pretty cool. I had a great time watching the absolutely awesome trad bow newbie Mo and Flea, Saint Fatty Lamb Hands. Shout out to those guys. They're incredibly awesome. And following them at, I think it was the Lancaster Classic.
Yeah, Lancaster Classic.
Yes.
Just awesome.
I love watching
just awesome. And also RJ Clockmaker. He's a great competitive longbow enthusiast and promoter on Instagram who's really inspired me to have a go, because I've just wanted to put myself under that pressure, really, and see how I can do. I don't expect to place or whatever, but it's just, and it's also seems like a great way to meet other archers.
It is.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a bit hard with the travel for me because I don't drive, and a lot of these comps are like all over the place. So, but there'll be plenty.
Yeah.
Or lockdowns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing happening now. Yeah.
If you don't
Thanks
drive,
for bringing that up again.
good luck getting into a competition here.
Almost forgot about it.
Sorry, man.
It's all right.
Okay, I said earlier on I get to it and I kind of forgot to bring it up, but Christian, you shut down your old Instagram account for a variety of reasons before.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it still exist? Like, can Thomas pull it up?
Yeah, it is. I have some friends that I follow through the account, some personal friends, some close friends, and I got into a place in my life that I wasn't able to cope with negativity, especially good. And so I got a lot of negative comments, and a lot of fake accounts PM me all the time. Even though I blocked them, they started new ones, and so on and so on. And with all on the Instagram and in my personal life, I decided to close the account and start a new one. And I even talked to Andrew and a few more of the trad guys to how to handle everything. But I think I did okay.
Yeah.
dude.
What was the name of it, if you don't mind?
Kicking archery. Kicking archery.
I think I still follow that account. I can't
I
unfollow
do
it.
as well.
It's too sentimental to me, Christian. I just can't. I go. You told people to unfollow it the other week, and I can't do it, man. It's just I've been following you since I started Instagram. And it's
absolutely.
Same here.
So I think I had I think I have it about 7K followers, but
yeah, I remember. I was really impressed.
I don't care about followers anymore because there are so many fake accounts and so on. But if I hadn't started the account, I didn't beat you guys. So
Are you still a nurse?
yeah, I am.
Oh,
I am.
That's awesome.
I work as an ER nurse and emergency nurse in our community.
Have you had to work with COVID patients at all?
And no, actually, I haven't because I've been on parental leave. So I've been.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was about to say, like, you're in a very small minority.
With you. Yeah. Yeah, that was such a good time to have a day off.
Nailed that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Is that parental leave like in paid or in private or just in what's it called again? There's private companies and then there's ones owned by the government.
Yeah, they are, but the parental leave are coming from the government, even which job you are working with.
All right.
I think we got 80% paid of our usual salary the first, I think it's 400 days, and then a little less the last 90. I think 90 or one.
You're right there, Andrew.
Wow. We could all learn a lot, couldn't we, from Sweden?
Yeah. No, you guys you're well ahead of your time, actually, to be honest with you. It's mad.
Yeah.
Ireland is behind, far behind.
And I think at least 30% are marked to the dad, so the mom can't get those days from the dad. So he have to stay home.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
You poor son of a bitch. How do you cope? Anyway.
Yeah, I think I shot about 7,000 arrows about my parental leave, at least.
Wow.
Jesus.
Nice.
Christ.
At least.
That's beating my record of 0. So well done. I'm impressed.
So how long has everyone here been shooting?
Let me think. I start Monday. No,
6 years for me. What about you guys?
6 years? Is that right?
Yeah.
6 years.
6 years, only 6 years. I've been shooting 6 years.
Achieved a lot, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think about 7 for me, but that's amazing. We're all in the same.
Yeah.
Well,
area.
not all of us, but hey, let's just,
Oh my god. And what got you guys into it?
Tom. I'm not talking about you, Tom. Right, you stay out of this. That's.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Donald. I'll just go back to typing.
I'm just kidding, Tom.
Look at you. Anyway.
I have some friends that the legendary Ben Mayer here in Melbourne, and my mate Anthony from Little Axe, and Alan Kidner. They're some of these extremely experienced archers that seem to have, had bows in their hands since they were little kids. And it's just an amazing thing to think about. But for me, like, there are things that I've done since I was a little kid, and archery just didn't quite make it into those pursuits. But gee, I certainly don't have, I'm really glad I took it up when I did. And it is one of those amazing things you can pick up at, almost any time, and start working away at. I was amazed when I learnt that Fred Bear himself only started shooting, only picked up a bow when he was 30, I think.
All right.
I never put it down.
No, he never put it down.
Damn. So you're saying there's still a chance for me?
There's still a chance for you, Thomas. Don't worry.
Thank you.
And archery's one of those things. You can do it at any age. I know a guy, and he 2 years, and he's about to hit, and like he just started like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Cool.
And he's pretty. Amazing. What about you, Christian? How long have you been shooting?
I've been shooting for, I think it's 6 years.
Why did you get into
it? It's always been a dream for me to shoot with bow and arrow. I shot a lot when I was younger as a kid with homemade bows and arrows, breaking windows and so on.
Yeah. Did all you guys make like incredibly dangerous improvised projectile weapons as kids? Because yes. I made some nasty crossbows and slingshots and glove guns. When you cut
screws on the top
off a rubber glove, cut a finger off a rubber glove and you put it on the end of a tube, and that's the deadly thing. And I really got into collecting Nerf guns several years ago too. It's just something about,
something about guns and
shooting
something. Not guns, not guns.
LMG Nerf gun, 100 rounds. Oh, I used to terrorize kids with it. Like,
yes. Yeah, I started modding them up, and me and my friends would have drunken battles, and these things would leave like welts on you, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Is that why you aren't a teacher anymore?
There you go.
That's going to be my behavior management strategy.
Yeah. Kill your math.
All right. Who wants
You guys ever gone paintballing? That shit hurts.
No. Yeah, I have. A couple of times actually.
Oh man, I've been once, and I got shot in the ear, and I'm pretty sure I was like deaf for like half an hour in that ear. It hurt the shit out of me. What's worse though is that it was my friend who did it, and he was just standing there laughing. So I made sure he wasn't allowed to walk for the rest of the evening.
When I tried it,
in the ear.
My second time, the first time was fine, nothing really happened. Second time, I was playing with my friends, and then one of their uncles was there. It was his birthday. And what the uncle did was he was so fucking stealthy. He was so fucking stealthy. This guy gets up behind me to the point where I can hear him breathe, and then he whips out the gun, aims it at my ass, and he fucking unloaded, and I dropped like a sack of shit. I dropped to the ground. Oh my god, it still hurts.
That's horrible.
That's not part of the thing.
You're not even supposed to shoot someone unless you're like 2 meters away. He was point blank, and he just,
Oh, that's brutal.
I was actually pretty good because I was in the special forces when I did my part in the army, so I was actually pretty good hitting galleons. So it was really fun.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't know you were a special forces.
I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a special forces. I'm a kung fu master and so on. Andrew.
Wow.
Your poor opponents must have been
That's
fucked
awesome,
after.
dude.
Like,
Awesome.
I only
One of my
need-
favorite.
Huh?
So one of my favorite Jackass skits is when Johnny Knoxville says they're doing human 10-pin bowling, and they grease up this huge tarp with detergent,
Yeah, I know.
and they
It's
get
so
all the
funny.
guys clustered in the middle, but it's a prank. And he flies in a drone with 2 paintball guns loaded on it, and he just peppers these dudes on, and they can't run away. They're slipping and they're flopping over. And it's just like, just laying into them without
when
mercy.
they did the duck hunt thing, when they made him fly up in the air and they were all shooting the guy midair.
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
those guys are out of their fucking mind.
DuckTales, I think it's called.
Yep.
Those guys were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I'd love to have him. I'd love to have anyone involved in Jackass on this show. It's amazing.
Would be a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag Jackass. I had a question. Thomas, don't say it. No, I got nothing.
That's super embarrassing, bro. Jesus. Come on, man. Your guess. I'm sorry. On behalf of Off the Irish podcast, I apologize on behalf of Jared, man.
Do you guys see what I deal with every day?
See what I have to deal with every day? The fucking embarrassment for a co-host.
Andrew, what arrows are you shooting with?
Gold tip traditionals.
Thanks for the same.
They have been
Carbons.
Carbons. They've been so reliable and such good value arrows. Like I shoot in the woods whenever I can, and these things go skipping off rocks and trees, and sometimes arrows break, but mostly the breaks occur when I hit another arrow with my arrow, and they're just so tough, and they're fairly cheap, and they look like wood, and I get a lot of people saying, "Where do you get your wood arrows? Give me some advice on wood arrows." I don't know anything about wood arrows. The carbons are great. Like they're just reliable. I've been painting them, been cresting them recently. Yeah, I dig them. What about
with
you
your
guys?
super Lego cresting?
Yeah. The Lego cresting machine. I'm gonna have to rebuild it.
Jealous. I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, that is cool.
Do you guys think that archery is like accurately depicted in movies? Like, I'm just thinking now, or what movie do you think is the best at depicting what it's like? Because you look at people like Legolas, who can like kill 2 enemies at the same time while blindfolded, while upside down. I mean, it's just like, it's unrealistic. I get that, you know.
So what do you think Andrew's doing when he goes hunting?
It's kind of unrealistic, you know. I mean,
He's an elf.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe the original Errol Flynn Robin Hood. That's a classic where Howard Hill apparently coached Errol Flynn, if I remember correctly, on that movie. Howard Hill, one of the famous longbow shooter from way back in the 50s, 60s. Yeah, I think that one. I'm not really up to speed, but I got to say that last Robin Hood movie with the recurve bows and the one that what's that guy's name that everyone loves or hates?
Lars Anderson.
Lars Anderson. Yeah. What's up with that?
I was going to ask you guys about that guy. What do you think?
Like, nothing wrong with that guy. Like, except I don't know. I don't watch it. I haven't pored over his videos or anything. I think it's pretty strange to make like blanket statements about things. But he's certainly really creative with his archery. But
yeah, he is.
He does trick shotting, but he said he reinvented archery. That's what he.
Yeah.
That's what. That was
I mean,
what
that's
he
a
said.
pretty astonishingly arrogant statement, but
bold.
You know, that's his viewpoint, and you know.
Tell me what you really think.
Yeah. No, that's what I really think. Like, I think there's the creativity is awesome. If he wants to think that about himself, then all the power to him, you know. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it true, just thinking that about yourself, but it's not my, you know, doesn't offend me because I didn't create or reinvent archery, so, you know, he's not stealing my credit. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. I know he gets a lot of flack, and he also has a lot of fans, so good on him, like, whatever. But what the hell is a recurve bow doing in a Robin Hood movie, you know?
I have no clue.
Because
I have no clue, yeah.
it was based in, like, during the Inquisition, was it?
Okay, maybe I should watch it before I...
Yeah.
Haven't you seen it?
Recurve bows have been around since forever.
I retract my statements. Yeah.
But yeah.
But hey, I think the second last Robin Hood were pretty good through archery. With the
Is that
with your fellow, yeah, it is.
Movies making, fighting around the world. Russell Crowe.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of.
He's a funny character, right?
Yeah.
What about? Sorry, we're talking movie archery. What about video game archery? Do any of you guys get into gaming and?
Well, I'm very excited for the new Call of Duty coming out. It's the first one to have a recurve bow.
No way. The Cold War one?
Yeah. It's going to be the first one to have a recurve bow. So I'm very excited about that because I shoot recurve, like bare bow recurve. So that'll be very cool. I know they've had kind of like mystical magic bows and like the zombie ones. They've had compound bows. Bare bow compound in Black Ops 4. And in Black Ops 2, I think they had just normal compound bow.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, is that standard issue for some POV army that can't afford guns?
Actually,
wasn't there a British general who has the first kill in the Second World War with the bow and arrow?
What's his name again? What's his name? Fuck.
I can't remember his name, but I think I saw a picture of him with the bow and arrow when they were landing at the beach.
Mad Jack Churchill. Yeah, he was crazy.
That's a badass, man. That's a badass.
I've been playing Mordhau recently, which is kind of like Counter-Strike set in
I know exactly
medieval town. And I've been really enjoying the archery, and that is really fun. Yeah, because then you take out a sword and you cut someone's head off, and then you run away and shoot some arrows. It's really fun. And my other pick would be Red Dead Redemption 2. Bloody good archery in that, with a Native American style bow. And I love The Hunter, Call of the Wild. It's a hunting simulator where you can shoot compound crossbows, shotguns, and rifles, and longbows, and but it's extremely relaxing game. It's basically a hiking simulator, and occasionally you can shoot a moose.
I'd love to try archery in VR because I'm a big VR fan. But if they could accurately do it in VR, I'd be very impressed.
That would be great. Yeah, awesome. You almost need like an AccuBow style, so you can feel the weight on them. Yeah,
that's what AccuBow wants you to think.
Yeah. do either of you guys have one of those? Because I do.
I haven't.
I've talked to the people before, but I didn't actually get it. I'll be honest.
It's overpriced.
I was thinking about to get one, but then I was talking to some people who has it, but they said I shouldn't buy one.
The quality is a bit lacking. and the price is quite steep, and it is unbelievably loud.
Is
you
it?
think you're going to get it and just like shoot reps in your house, or in your apartment. It's very, very loud. And I've experimented with ways to try and cut down on the sound. But to be perfectly frank, like, it's good that it's adjustable, but a stretch band is $5. And that thing is like $250. So
$250.
It does feel nice to... Wow. Australian bucks. I don't know what how that translates, but it is nice to feel the weight and the bow in your hand, and but also the rubber that simulates the string. It's very, very thick, so it doesn't really feel like a string on your fingers. But it's still there. I pick it up every now and again. But I use the stretch bands more.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I normally have them lying around the room because I haven't been shooting much. What I do, use the bands a lot more. So, it's good fun. Me knocking the whole place over. Sorry. Yeah. Do you guys... Okay, so you both said you do like a martial art before. You guys into UFC?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're on the same page. Thomas can start talking now. Thomas is a huge fan of UFC.
I remember.
What do you got?
I remember watching my first match. I think it was about. They hadn't got any rules, and I think I was about 12 years old, and I had nightmares about 2 weeks for the first. But now I love it. But
that's great. I was obsessed when they came out. I found the VHS cassettes in a store one day when I was somewhere in the mid 90s or the late 90s, probably by the time they got to Australia, and bought all the VHS and then found them on DVD and watched them 1, 2, 3, 4, watched all of them. Like, and that first one, I mean, that you'll know what I'm talking about, like Sumo versus Savat, and the Savat guy just kicks the Sumo in the face, and his teeth go flying across the cage. And everyone just like freaks out. And they're like, "Oh my god!" they kind of tried to stop it. The guy wanted to finish him, and it was just like insane. And then, of course, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born, and Royce Gracie, and just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Owned everything.
I kind of like it at the start, like going back and watching it, because it wasn't as defined as it is now. Like right now, if you want to win that shit, you need to know everything.
Everything,
back then you could just be like great at kickboxing, or obviously they gave a sumo in there. So it was people who only specialize in one thing, and then them going at it.
A
lot of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys thought they were gonna kick ass, and sometimes they just got punched in the face and they were gone. But a lot of the time, they also did win.
Yeah, because that stuff was happening in Brazil long before it started happening in the States with Vale Tudo and
absolutely
those kinds of submission grappling comps. But I like the evolution, looking at it from those specialists in the early days. And then if you think like when Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell were like ruling the light heavyweights and
absolutely
and heavyweights, that was a real... Exactly, like there seemed to be a real generalist. Everyone was catching up to get their stats kind of average and all rounded, and the games seemed to become quite similar. All fighters seemed to sort of mimic each other a little bit, and then I reckon in the last 5, 6, maybe even 10 years, like they've been starting to specialize again, and you see these. Specialist strikers like Conor McGregor and John Jones, and these specialist grapplers like Damian Maia, and it's really crazy, and you see these crazy techniques that you never would have thought you'd ever see, because people are like, they have to be more creative to get an edge, because everyone was playing it safe and even for so long that, yeah, all of a sudden, like, you know, a crane kick comes out of nowhere and knocks out Randy Couture, and a spinning wheel kick comes out of nowhere, and and you're like, holy crap. So it's just the most incredible, like, evolution of martial arts, and it just happens so fast. Like, since '93, when I think the UFC started.
Yeah.
Before that, everyone thought you could, like, do your karate punch and that would be that, and do your kung fu technique, and no one knew about grappling. It's just fascinating to me.
You know that Asian guy who I think it's about 5-6 years ago that only the karate style, almost the original karate.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Lyoto Machida?
Yeah, Machida. I love him.
From Brazil? Machida's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I love his pure style of fighting.
He's incredible respect, and a great, like, martial artist. I really enjoy the martial artists of MMA, not really the fighters. I really enjoy the George St. Pierre's and the Demetrius Johnsons and
okay,
like
so
the guys that have
George
respect.
Okay, so Khabib Nurmagomedov is a beast.
Yeah, I heard about this.
He has to fight Justin Gaethje soon. I'll say a little prayer now for Justin Gaethje, but
I will say a little prayer for you.
Yeah, light a few candles in his honor. But after that, he wants to finish by fighting George St. Pierre. What do you think about that?
St. Pierre. I love to see him fight again.
He's a bit old. He's a bit he's a bit out of form, but I mean, we all remember what happened when Bisping faced him. He came out of retirement and just like put a big black mark on that guy's career.
He's maybe 40.
Really? Like,
he's nearly 40, yeah.
Yeah, I think this whole idea of like fighting Hall of Famers that sort of past their prime, it's good it looks good on the fight ticket, and it must sell tickets and pay-per-views, but is it really a fair test of,
Not really.
someone as skillful as Khabib? Like, he needs someone that's going to like have a chance.
People don't age the way they used to, especially people who have money. They don't age like they used to.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, you turned 40 and you died. And that was if you were rich. And otherwise, you were 17, you were married, you had kids, and you died in a war or something. That's how it went back in the day. But now there's 80-year-olds. Imagine saying that 400 years ago. I'd be like, what? What? Is that the oldest man alive? Yeah. But people don't age the same way. And there's different ways of taking care of your health that a lot of fighters do. We've learned a lot more about staying healthy, and pro athletes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's their main priority.
And they are so fit. I think that these guys are the top of all sports. If you can say sport of top, as how fit they are in every single way almost. They are
combat athletes. Super athletes. Really, you have to be.
But when you're saying there about like you want these old like champions to come back, it's not that unreasonable, because number one, if they were a champion, it means they were the top in that class. So number one, they're already good. But then it's just a recovery of getting back into shape and taking care of their health for about 3-4 months to get them ready to fight. Like with Mike Tyson, if you've seen the Joe Rogan interview with him recently, compared to what he was, he changed. That man changed.
He's a freaking beast.
He went from sitting in a chair, hunched over with a joint, like, yeah, Mike Tyson, man. and then he's like sitting across from Joe, like just bulked, And every time Joe
He's
was laughing at something, he's like,
super-
Joe, it's not funny. And Joe just
I
stopped laughing.
saw that.
And Joe could
I
kick
saw that
anyone's ass.
montage the other week. That was hilarious. Yeah. The speed at which Joe wiped the smile off his face those moments was really funny.
It's not funny,
But
Joe.
look, I don't know,
I'm gonna
man.
watch that
I don't
after
know.
this. It already looks really funny because he looks really fucking scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean,
love
Mike Tyson
the
fucking beast, bro.
He's amazing boxer. He's one of the greatest.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
is.
yeah. I love the his alter ego in The Simpsons, Drederick Tatum.
Yeah.
You remember him? You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Homer's a good guy. You know, I like him. I got nothing against him, but I'm definitely gonna make orphans of his children. You realize they do have a mother, champ. Yes, but I would imagine that she would die of grief. Yeah. He's hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious.
Is he fighting Holyfield in an exhibition match? Is that what all that hype is about?
No way. I know he's fighting Roy Jones Jr. in a big.
What?
Yeah. Fighting Roy Jones Jr., who retired like 5 or 6 years ago now, and he was like champion of multiple weight division.
Right.
And then he has like a load of undercards with like a load of social media boxers, like what's that guy?
Right.
Oh, like Jake Paul, and they're all on the undercards.
Oh god, that's interesting.
9 losses, 66 wins, 47 by knockout. Fuck.
Right.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, this guy,
Oh.
this guy's a beast. I mean,
He's a beast.
This goes in there and murders.
Yeah.
I wish he was fighting either like Lennox Lewis, Holyfield. That would have been some fight to watch, to be honest. I don't know if those guys are up.
Yeah.
Though. Who knows?
Boxing is amazing.
Well,
I would just back off and change my underwear.
Yeah. You're in the same boat there.
I know Shannon Briggs said he'd love.
Oh yes, yeah.
He'd love to fight him. That'd be kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really, he's very annoying. I mean, I wouldn't say it to his face now because I'd be fucking dead.
We got to talk to boxing cutman Stitch Duran pretty recently.
Yeah.
Wow.
And saw that. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Number one, we're talking about all different boxers and even his involvement in different movies.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. And then, like, he talked about like why Dana White doesn't like him. So, there you go. And he was going to make a comeback, but he decided against it. He was going to do some stuff with Conor McGregor, but in the end didn't.
Oh, right.
McGregor, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'd think McGregor would be like a local hero here, but no.
Yeah.
He was.
No, he was.
I mean, his posters are everywhere, but it's like, like Most Wanted. No.
I was a bit tentative to mention his name, knowing that you guys are Irish, know how loyal you were to him. But I got to say, he's a good example of someone that's like an incredible fighter that I think like probably, I don't know if this is going to sound elitist or anything, but I feel like he did the sport more harm than good with that like ridiculous unprofessionalism. And like, there's nothing I hate more than like seeing. Well, let me rephrase that. What I love about combat sport is when you see the sportsmanship after a fight. And I feel like
hugging,
like
everything.
if you guys have done martial arts and you have a hard sparring session and you've hurt yourself, you've been hurt by your friend or whatever, you've done a tournament, like, if you can't go through that and get out your aggression hurting each other in a safe environment, which combat sport should always be safe, and you still have rage at the end of that, then you've got problems, and it really like does a terrible disservice to the sport, because that's what every critic of combat sports wants to say, that this is violent and barbaric, when it's not. When it's like some of the most sportsman, like, you see tennis players lose it worse than than combat sport athletes. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's true.
what have you got to complain?
Absolutely.
You're hitting the
Didn't
ball.
Djokovic, he had to be like suspended because he like hit a ball in one of the ball boys' faces the other day?
Yeah,
That was an accident.
bro,
Yeah,
that was.
but you see, like in soccer, or in football and rugby
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff, like people love
Soccer.
the fights. But I think like why, if you want to watch fights, the people that are actually good at it, where you can watch some skill. These dudes kick a ball. Get back to what you do.
There's so much tension between soccer fans because, and I mean that like there is a lot of they fucking hate. I remember once me and Dad were going over to see the Man City stadium. I'm a City fan, and we were staying in Liverpool with my aunt and uncle, and we fucking got lost, right? And we were about to pull over and ask someone for directions. And then we're like, oh shit, what if they're a United fan? And then just kept going. It's like, we don't want the hassle. We don't want the, it's true. If we asked where
it's crazy.
They'd probably fucking shout at us.
Yeah, football in Europe is really intense sounding.
Oh, it is.
Like, I believe there are teams that are like, they can't have home games because they're just banned from you can't have this team face this team in this stadium because all hell will break loose.
With the Premier League, which is the English one, all teams have to face each other twice, like one home, one away. So
yeah, same here.
Oh yeah, and it's okay. I mean, like teams tend to hate each other. I remember this. Do you know, guys, who Billy Connolly is, the comedian, the Scottish guy?
Of course.
Yeah, and he was telling a story once. He was at a match, and he accidentally ended up sitting on the opposition team. So the guy with this guy, big bulky guy sitting beside him, he goes, "All right, go to what was it? Go to the stand and buy me a beer, but leave your shoe here." So he goes and buys him beer and comes back and sure he's after shitting in his shoe, and he finishes his beer. And the guy turns around to him and goes, "Go get me another one, but leave your other shoe." So sure enough, he goes and gets them. Sure, when he comes back, then he's after shitting in his shoe again. And so then, after the game, walking outside, and as you can imagine, he's sludging along.
Oh, that's gross. He's
stopped by a reporter and asked to talk about, the relationship between different teams. And he simply says, I think there will never be peace among everyone until, they stop shitting in our shoes and we stop pissing in their drinks. It's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So,
you just missed a really disgusting joke.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every single time.
So yeah, I think the tensions are high between teams. I think that stuff actually probably does happen. Whether it be or not.
That's hilarious.
Here in Sweden, in every team there are a small group behind every team who meet up and fight each other, and it's always every match that they met up and fight each other.
Do you guys have to nominate all right, we're taking nominations today. Which 6 guys you want to kick the shit out of the other 6 guys? It's like a Hunger Games thing. You gotta volunteer yourself.
Exactly.
Names out of a hat.
Oh gosh.
Volunteers tribute.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know where we were.
Do you guys, sorry, we're talking about martial arts. Do you guys consider archery a martial art? Because I kind of do.
Okay, well, I tried to ask
Absolutely.
the question before. If you're attacked by an animal, what was the most effective martial art to use? And I've, ask dumb questions, get dumb answers. And the answer was archery. So
Really?
archery is a martial art. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But obviously don't say that to Dana White and Joe Rogan. You have a lot more deaths in there.
Well,
But
yeah.
He's sitting with the upper hand. Oh, he shot an arrow through his heart. This is unbelievable. He is fucking dead in the octagon, and oh my god, he's dancing on his body.
And he goes for the finisher. Oh, right in the face. You know, that'd be blood sport. You know, that'd be gladiator shit.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's the same mentality as in archery and martial arts, and the same humbleness to life, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Between martial arts and archery, and I think it's not too far away from each other as in practice and so on, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Of like how like this person and I have no idea who he is, but he came up with this idea, and it was to get rid of all guns and replace. You know, everyone who has a gun, it's instead give them a sword, and like it's the only way you can rob banks. So like the bank owner and this guy who wants to rob the bank have to have a fucking duel. I mean,
if you're gonna do that, why not replace them with rubber chickens or something like?
Yeah.
Get rid of guns, walk around swords.
I mean, could you imagine two guys?
Everyone with a gun. Give them a Hungry Hippos game, and if you go into a bank and you play Hungry Hippos and you win, and you take the money and you get out, like, nobody gets hurt. I don't know.
There's more efficient ways to rob a bank than, you know.
All right, you
a gun.
Here I come, bring on the Hippo games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Count the how many you got. Yeah, no, that would be a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, poor Andy over here. He's still in lockdown. You know, if he leaves that one room he's in, you know, the police actually show up. He's only allowed in that room.
I am in a pretty small apartment. It does feel like a single room sometimes, but luckily, you know, there's enough space.
That's enough.
Yeah, Melbourne, all Melbourners are struggling, but we're all good.
At least you can afford an apartment.
How about when you're fixing groceries? Exactly. How about then?
Pardon? We can go.
What do you do when
to do grocery shopping? Yeah, we can go to the supermarket.
Okay.
We've been ordering a lot of our stuff delivered anyway. But yeah, we can go. One person can go. Can't go in there with your partner or your housemates. Just one person.
No.
But you know, look, it's not. It's really not that bad in the grand scheme of things. However, I say that from my perspective, but people are really struggling, and yeah, I would like to see more support for individuals from our government at this time. That would be good. There's a lot of talk about propping up the economy, but you know, the economy relies on people, and you have to look after people before you look after the money, in my opinion.
I agree.
But that's my 2 cents.
You know, we can, you know, if we save the people can sort out the economy after, but the economy can't really save the people after.
Exactly, man.
So
exactly. It's well said.
Yeah.
A hard game.
Unless you're a Christian over here, you know, he's self-sufficient. I actually wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
let's hear about
grow?
that.
Like you live in Sweden, a cold ass place. How do you grow anything? Do you grow snow? Do you grow reindeer? No.
Do you grow sweets?
You know, I don't think we have a proper winter in about 10, 15 years almost. And it's almost never under 0 Celsius anymore.
Yeah, same here.
It's getting warmer and warmer each year.
Wow.
Like, did you know that Antarctica, they have to change their flag every couple of years because, like, it's getting smaller? It's actually a thing.
Wow.
I don't think Antarctica is a country, Thomas.
No, they have a flag, dude. Like, I didn't say the word country, so stop putting words in my mouth, you dick.
Penguin.
Yeah, but we're.
What else do you grow though, Christian?
We have I think we have about 10 different cabbage, and I think we have 5 different onions and potatoes, carrots, and
Wow.
beans. I think we have 10 different beans.
Sweet potatoes or just normal potatoes?
Normal, and I think we have 3 different. I don't know the English name on the species, but. So I think this year's harvest, I think we're going about 6-7 months.
And how much of your food do you like produce by yourself? Like 50,
I don't know.
20?
I think we have some flower carrot. Is it the English name?
What do you say?
Cauliflower?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we had about 60 kilos of them.
Oh.
You must like cauliflower, sir.
Yeah. We have a lot.
So we have a lot.
So, yeah.
During quarantine, I tried to grow
How many acres?
a lot more food. I only grew like a bowl of potatoes, and that was it. It took like 6 months. Or 4 months, actually.
Nice. That's not bad. There's
Yeah,
something
they're
so
tiny.
great about it. We have a little herb garden on my deck of my apartment, and it's just a bit of parsley and oregano, and but just tasting that in your meal is so satisfying.
fantastic.
So it's very satisfying. How many acres are you on, Christian?
I think we have 20,000 square meters. I think it's about 2.5 acres.
What is that? Cool. I was pointing to Google this. What's 20,000
Like,
square
sorry,
meters?
I was looking, you were like,
Google it.
Google.
Oh, so now I want to. Oh, that's awesome. No. What am I supposed to look up, sir?
20,000 square meters
that
in
must be
acres.
20.
That's cool. That's not very big.
No, it's not.
2.5
But
acres?
we have a special way of growing and farming our stuff. So very extremely tight together, and 4.9. Okay.
5, yeah.
Sorry. I have no clue about I have no clue about this acre and so on.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, you gained, you like doubled your property size instantly.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2.5.
Do you sell any of your produce, or do you just?
Yes, we are. I think we're selling about the half of our stuff, because it's not cheap to buy all the seeds and so on.
So how do you?
Of course.
Or how do you sell this stuff? Like a farmer's market, or directly to?
Facebook, actually.
Wow.
We had someone on pretty recently. He's the only rooftop farmer in all of Ireland. So his farm is on a roof.
That's awesome.
In the city.
That's great. That's great.
So cool.
Like
So
talk
cool.
about like
why not?
Talk about working with very little, There's the man there in the corner,
That's
and
so
there's this
cool.
lovely lady.
Oh, that's so cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Why isn't every roof of every high rise covered in green space and solar panels? What's up with
Absolutely, and bees and so on.
Beehives.
I think
and
he has
stuff.
bees.
Yeah, my dad keeps bees.
His bees, and he has, what bird does he have, Jared? He has
chickens, but he wants to get pigeons. He wants to be Ireland's largest producer of pigeons.
Yeah, he wants
because no one else does it.
Cool.
Right.
Then.
We have about 15 chickens, because I have no clue, because the fox is coming here every single night, and it takes a few, and then we get some new ones, and then the fox came again, and so on.
Oh.
Can you hunt the fox? Are there rules against that? Because
Yeah, they are.
Chicken coop out and take them out.
I was out practicing one day, and he came about, I think about 20 meters away from me, and I was going to shoot him, even though it isn't legal, because I'm going to save my chickens. But then he ran away.
Oh, little shit.
It's not legal to shoot a fox on your own property.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's a native animal.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same here. We have every bird in Ireland is protected. Every single bird.
Okay.
Every single native animal in Australia is also protected. You cannot hunt native animals in Australia, but luckily we're
don't people kill kangaroos?
With feral animals. Well, they cull them, but it's done by the government in a strict way. Yeah, you can't hunt kangaroos.
Okay.
You need a license, and you don't need a license. It's different.
In Ireland, you can only hunt rabbits and foxes, as far as I know, without a license.
Okay.
And not with a bow, right?
No, there's no bow hunting in Ireland at all.
No, same here in Sweden.
You will probably face time if you hunt with a bow.
Yeah, same here.
That's amazing. So in both your countries, no bows. Wow.
Yeah, which kind of defeats the purpose of doing bow hunting or practicing for bow hunting, which is what I do.
Yeah, exactly. The government is about to legalize it here in Sweden. Yeah, exactly. The government is about to legalize it here in Sweden.
Are they?
Oh, that's good.
They are. But if I would shoot a fox and it wouldn't kill him and then run away, and if someone else finds it, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, especially with your Instagram, because everyone knows what your arrows look like.
Exactly. And signed arrows.
I like your name. Your name is written on nice and bright.
Yeah, it's like your phone number.
Address, phone number.
Christian Johanson, the fox.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. No, you definitely don't want to break any laws.
If you find these errors.
Please return.
Please return it.
Return to sender. Yeah, but I feel like people don't have the right understanding of hunting in Ireland. I understand why there's no hunting. And it's a historic thing. But,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, when the English were here, which they were for a long time, they cut down all the trees and they killed off basically everything.
Really?
Because the woods in Britain were considered like sacred. Like you wouldn't want to cut down your own trees, would you? No, so you cut down the Irish ones. So Ireland's one of the most deforested countries in all of Europe.
Really?
As a result, and then our native megafauna gone. I think they had to reintroduce. Thomas, you can check that. I think they had to reintroduce deer into Ireland.
Really?
Wow.
Look up.
I didn't know that.
They have to reintroduce deer into Ireland. And even fishing laws are very strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's really interesting.
You can fish at any of the canals here, I think. Isn't that right, Jordan?
Yeah, you can. They've done so specifically, so you can only fish where you wouldn't catch a fish, basically.
Okay.
You're allowed to catch one trout in a day, one something else in a day, and then you catch 5 fish in a day. But the one you can catch 3 of is an eel, an Irish eel. I've never seen an eel in Ireland. I've never heard of anyone ever catching an eel, ever.
You can catch as many lions as you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You can catch penguins. You can catch ostriches. Right?
Bro, watch me go to the zoo.
What are you complaining about?
It's like goes into the fucking zoo. It's like, all right, we got one here.
Here in Sweden, we have free kangaroo hunting.
Well, in Ireland, there's no rules against hunting kangaroos, so I might start.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be looking for a long time though.
It's a delicious meat. It's a very, very lean, rich red meat, and you can buy it in supermarkets here. And you don't have to go looking too hard for it.
Would it be a lot like beef? Would you, or would it be?
It can be quite tough. It's got very little fat on it.
Really?
Yeah, and it so it can be a little tough as a steak, but it makes good curries. That's for sure, and stews and things like that.
Great.
But nobody would. Yeah, Australia is a really unique place when it comes to hunting because we have so many feral animals, and we have we have 5 species of feral deer. We have the largest population of wild camels in the world. We have like rabbits and cane toads and cats. Feral cats are a real menace in the outback, and foxes, and all of these things, all of these feral animals, you can hunt. The different laws in different states. I'm not up with all of them, but Victoria is a very hunting friendly state, and yeah, you don't need. There's no season. There's no tags like there is in the States.
Is there a is there fuck, am I forgetting? What you call it? No, I'm blank. Sorry, go on.
No worries. Yeah, so it's a different kettle of fish here when it comes to hunting, but certainly like yeah, you would never hunt a native animal in Australia. They're too cute. They're too awesome. I mean, look at the kangaroo. I was watching a doco the other day. No matter how long I stare at those things, they are the weirdest looking things. They're bizarre, right?
Actually, I remember my question is hunting cost effective in you guys' country?
Well, you don't have to pay to get a tag like you do in the States. There are permits, and of course you need all the gear, and you've got to get out there. But I think it definitely is I think there are people, especially in Victoria, that use it as their primary source of meat. Usually, I think rifle hunters. You wouldn't want to be a hungry bow hunter, because the success rate is quite low. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question, but it's certainly like I know in the States, for example, and a lot of places around the world, hunting pays for conservation. Almost exclusively in some places, it seems to be the way. So, yeah, for me, it's always been a goal to get to become proficient at bow hunting, and it's a lot more than shooting the bow. It's understanding the behavior of animals. It's understanding the connection between the food that you eat and the fact that every time that you eat meat, you are responsible for the ending of that animal's life, whether you took it or not. And it's astonishing how many people don't seem to make that connection buying it from the supermarket. And I certainly was one of them, and until I make my first kill and butcher my first deer, like I won't know that, like I won't know that feeling. And it's not a trophy hunting thing for me. It's all about finding that connection between
there is
no
place
our
in
existence.
this world for people who want to just kill it for the sake of killing it. Like that used to be okay with hunters.
Totally agree.
If you wanted to just kill something, you went out and you fucking killed a deer or something. That used to be okay a long time ago. That's not the case now. Right. You're doing this because it's actually more ethical than going to the store. Like how many, by default, like you didn't kill them directly, but how many pigs have you killed this year by going to the store?
Yeah.
Versus you killed one deer and you're fed for 6 months.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some really disturbing things about the meat industry, and
absolutely.
But it's a personal choice, and yeah, I have some great friends. Shout out to Kai Fano. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's an incredible survivalist.
She's amazing.
From Australia, a good friend of mine. she will take some roadkill or an animal that she's hunted and use every single bit of that animal, the sinew, tan the hide with the brain of the animal, use the skeleton and the bones, eat the meat. I mean, it's an incredible process to be in touch with, and I just got so much to learn, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
She's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I suppose there is that to it too. Like, you just killed this thing. Do you really want to waste it? Like, you killed something. You gotta have a reason for doing it. You gotta use everything.
Absolutely. Humbleness and respect
Yes.
in everything.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Like here in Sweden, here in Sweden, you have to be a part of a team that own a property or some ground to hunt, and then there's special time in each year to hunt some animals. But I think wild boars and a couple of other animals you are allowed to shoot whenever you want to in your properties.
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So you could find someone but not with a bow, but only with a gun.
No, unfortunately not yet.
Gotcha. New Zealand, another great place to hunt, kind of similar to Australia. That's definitely somewhere to visit.
Orcs.
Orcs. yeah.
Hobbits.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Yeah, hobbits look easy. Take down a few hobbits.
All right, guys, we pushed into about 2 hours. I expected about an hour.
Yeah,
so I
that's so
suppose
much fun. I just
that's
really
as good a
enjoyed
time as
this.
any to end it. It's been good fun.
I reckon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's
thanks
been good
guys.
fun.
Thanks again.
Yeah. I'm happy
It's great to chat with you. It's great to chat with you, Christian, face to face.
Yeah, back at you, Andrew.
In
First
the
time.
most virtual realm. And Gerard and Thomas, thank you so much for having me
thank
back.
you.
It's
really, really fun.
So here's time for the plugs. If people want to follow you guys and check you guys out, where can they find you?
They can find me on Nocturnal Archer.
And Archer from Sweden.
Yeah, or on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys and anything else? You on Twitter? You on
YouTube?
Facebook?
Yep. There's a YouTube channel, but mostly Instagram, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I think I have about 2 videos.
Yeah, me too.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Talking to archers.
Thank you.
Anytime.
You know, like the
One
worst thing
day
ever
we'll
interviewed
convince
archers.
Thomas to do archery.
Yeah,
lads. Take it handy. Have a great day.
And good luck.
All right.
Good luck.
Take care.